Here we are going to discuss the different compensation techniques of BJT. So already we have discussed the different biasing circuits. In this, the collector to base and voltage follower use the negative feedback for the stabilization. This negative feedback reduces the amplification of the signal. This loss signal amplification is intolerable and extremely stable biasing conditions are required. So we can go for the compensation techniques. So the compensation, there are three compensation: diode compensation, thermistor compensation, and transistor compensation. So in the let us go by one. So in the diode compensation, it is placed, and the diode is placed under the emitter circuit, and under the voltage divider circuit is another one. What happened when the diode is placed under the emitter circuit? The first case. So if the a diode is placed under the emitter value, that is under the RG value. What happens if the temperature changes, your voltage drop across the base emitter is changes. VBE changes by del VBE, and if the what happens, the voltage drop across the diode changes by del VD. So thereby it will cancel each other. Since VD tracks the VBE with respect to the temperature, it is clear from that our collector current IC will be insensitive to the variations in VBE. So this is a first case. Next we will go for the next one, diode compensation technique. That is, diode is placed under the voltage divider network. The figure shows diode is placed above the R2 value. So for the analysis, derive the equation, that is your IE is equal to VB minus VBE by RE. Next, your IE, we know IE is equal to VE by RE. So your collector current is equal to IC is equal to IE. Therefore your IC is equal to VB minus VBE by RE. Therefore when the VBE changes with the temperature, my collector current also changes. Aim is to it won't change. For that we need a compensation. So diode is placed under there. So what happens if the diode is placed? So your VB is equal to VR2, that is your junction temperature VB is equal to VR2 plus VD. Therefore your IC collector current is equal to VR2 plus VD minus VBE by RE. So when the temperature changes, automatically VBE changes. And next one, your VD voltage drop across the diode changes, thereby it cancels each other. Therefore your collector current is equal to VR2 by RE. That is very important one, which is unaffected due to the changes in VBE. So to summarize, R1, R2, RE are voltage biasing. The changes in VBE due to the temperature are compensated by the changes in the diode voltage, which keeps the IC stable Q point. That is very important one. Next we will go for the another one, thermistor compensation technique. So this is that is, if the temperature is affected, if the temperature is increasing, your RT value decreasing. So your thermistor is nothing but negative temperature coefficient. So where it is connected means R2 is replaced by your thermistor. So what happens if the temperature changes? That is our ultimate aim. So if the temperature increase in temperature, RT value decreases. Hence voltage drop across it is also decreases. This voltage drop is nothing but voltage at the base with respect to the ground. So once it is base with respect to the ground means nothing but VBE. So VBE decreases, automatically IB value decreases. This behavior will tend to offset the increase in the collector current with the temperature. So there is always your IC remains constant. Next we will go for the another one, another compensation technique called the transistor compensation technique. What is the difference between thermistor and transistor means? Thermistor is a negative temperature coefficient, it is a positive temperature coefficient. So if you look into this diagram, if the temperature increases, your RT value increases. So it is a positive temperature coefficient. So slope of this curve is equal to del RT divided by del T. Again we have to analyze what happens if the temperature changes. As the temperature increases, RT value increases with decreases the current flowing through it. Hence R2 decreases, which reduces the voltage drop across it. So once voltage drop across the base and ground, so VBE reduces, thereby IB reduces. It means what? ICBO increases with the increase in temperature and IB reduces to reduction in VBE, thereby maintaining the IC value. So thereby we are compensating the changes and keeping the Q point stable at the junction. Once if you are analyzing this compensation, we have to go for the condition for the stability, condition for the thermal stability. So before that we know the thermal runaway. If the excess heat is produced, the device get destroyed, that is a thermal runaway. For this we can go for the condition for the thermal stability. So the steady state temperature rise at the collector junction is proportional to the power dissipated at the junction. So del T is equal to Tj minus Ta, which is equal to theta into Pd, where Tj and Ta is equal to junction temperature and ambient temperature, and Pd is equal to power, and theta is a constant. So we have to find the condition for the stability. The required condition to avoid the thermal runaway is that rate at which heat is released at the collector junction must not exceed the rate at which the heat can be dissipated. So dou Pc by dou Tj should be less than the dou Pd by dou Tj. So find the value with respect to the above equation, differentiating. So final equation is equal to dou Pc by dou Tj should be less than the 1 by theta. This condition must be satisfied to prevent the thermal runaway. That is, by proper design and compensation, it is possible to ensure that transistor cannot run away below a specified ambient temperature or even under the any condition. So that's all about your compensation. We can move on to the next topic, switching characteristics. That is, transistor is act as a switch. So transistor is a 3-terminal device and a switch is a 2-terminal device. How to convert means by means of proper connection. That is, your collector terminal is fed back into the base terminal. Thereby it is a 3 to 2-terminal device. Here the base emitter voltage is equal to 0.7 and the base emitter junction is a forward biasing, base collector junction is a forward biasing, and the transistor is a fully on condition. You just look into this, your transistor is replaced by switching closer. So that is, the transistor is operated as a closer switch. So once if you are analyzing the switching characteristics, you have to come across some parameters, that is a time delay, rise time, turn on time, and etc. So what is meant by time delay? So if you look into this diagram, it is an input pulse and here it is an output pulse. So the time between the input pulse is applied and the collector current flows is from its initial value, 10% value is called the time delay, TD. What about your rise time? The time taken for the collector current to reach the 90% of its maximum value. If you look into this, it is a TD value. What about your TR? It is a rise time from this initial value. 90% from 90% of its maximum level. So it is a rise time. What about your T on, which is equal to total time duration of your TD plus TR. So in the switching characteristics, another important part is storage time. So what is a storage time means? The time period between the trailing edge, that is in the end, trailing edge of the input and the 90% of the maximum value of the output is called the storage time. What about your falling time means? It is opposite to that of the rise time. The time duration for the collector current to attain from 90% of its value to the 10%, it is called the fall time. So what about your T off means total time duration of the fall time and the storage time, that is a TS plus TF. So to conclude, so this is a pulse width. So pulse width is nothing but time period of the output pulse measured between the 50% levels of the rising and the falling is known as a pulse width of the given circuit.